Hello and welcome to another episode of TEVAdrive. Today we are inside a 2021 Soul EV Limited Long Range. We have been driving it for the past week. We did a long range test on the way to our cottage, as well as fast charging test. So let's take it on the road. Kia Canada has confirmed to us that the 2021 model is basically virtually identical to the 2020 we drove a year ago at this time. So we won't be going into too much detail in terms of the screens and the features and all that stuff. We will simply talk about how the market positioning of this car has changed in a year, and it has quite a bit because of the new arrivals and more cars arriving this year from the competition, but also from Kia Hyundai Genesis Group itself. So this car, as you see it here, the top of the line, fully loaded, limited long range, is retails at almost $52,000, which is only basically $3,000 less than Model 3 Short Range Plus. And the recently announced a few days ago Model Y standard range, let's not call it short range, standard range rear wheel drive. So the competition is quite heavy, and the price tag of $52,000, unless you want to be really very discreet, super discreet, and look like you're driving a $25,000 car, which is what the base Kia Soul EV is. Most people will be looking at the competition. What we anticipate, though, because of where the market is right now with the competition and the upcoming arrival of the dedicated EV platform from the Hyundai Kia Genesis Group, the eGMP based cars, first of which being Ioniq 5 arriving this year. It will be revealed shortly within the next few weeks with an 800 volt architecture, 500 kilometer range, etc., etc. So once those are announced and arriving and you will be able to order them, we predict that these existing cars, any of the full electric cars from Kia and Hyundai, will be offered at a discount, okay? For now, we'll consider the MSRP of 52, and as it stands right now, at that price, it will be very hard for anyone to for them to sell too many of those. There's a symbol here when the car is capable of auto steering, which is mostly on the highway. So perhaps we'll go a little piece of the highway drive as well, just to show to you how well the auto steer works. The system doesn't prompt you as often as Tesla or Volvo auto steer systems, and of course it's much better than the Audi auto steer system. So it works very well. The other thing we want to mention is our experience with the winter driving on a highway. This car is equipped with winter tires, which you can hear are quite noisy, but it makes for safe driving in the winter with the front wheel drive with 200 horses. The car will spin wheels if you push it too hard. So for winter driving, your best bet is normal or eco mode. I would not use sport in the winter. It's makes it very fast, but it makes it spin the front wheels very quickly, and there's substantial torque steer as well. Our experience doing 150 kilometers, mostly driveway, let's say two-thirds highway and one-third side roads on the way to the cottage. Just yesterday during the weekend, we got the highway result as much as 28 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. On the southbound route, we got this was using sport mode, mind you, and we're using middle to left lane speed following traffic. On the way back, we used the normal mode, and we got a highway result of about 27 and a total average of about 25, including the side roads. So, that's quite a high consumption. Some of it has to do with the fact that obviously this is a very boxy car, not very aerodynamic, and it's a conversion from an ICE, internal combustion engine car. So do not expect, huge efficiency from this particular design. All the new cars, dedicated electric cars, will be much more efficient. with better design and lower CX drag coefficient. So you can definitely count on that. So our general impression, this is a very capable electric car. The range in the winter at the 100, when it's charged to 100%, it ranges in sport mode from about 320 with the heat on. All of this is of course with the climate on. We're not even gonna mention figures without the climate, because in the winter it's unrealistic. You have to keep your climate on. And keep in mind, we always keep the temperature at 18 degrees, not much more. I don't need, because I'm dressed up, I don't like undressing in the winter inside the car, so we keep it at 18 degrees. We also keep the steering heat on and the seat heat at a minimum, just the first degree. And by the way, this Limited comes with seat heating and seat cooling as well. So the consumption and the range will depend on that. So it will range at 100% from our experience, from our test this week, from a low of 320 in sport mode to a high of 350 in eco mode, which is more than sufficient for most people driving habits. And that basically matches the reports of the Kia Niro EV as well. It's bigger brother. We follow that closely. We will be driving a Kia Niro very soon, in the next few weeks as well. So we'll give you a full report on that in comparison with this car. Size-wise, of course, Kia Soul, is very easy to see them. You see them everywhere. In terms of our fleet, it's very comparable in size to the i3. Of course, it has a much bigger range because it has a 64 kilowatt-hour battery. The other experience that during our test over the weekend on the trip to the cottage was the charging speed test. Charging at Electrified Canada in Barrie on the DC fast charger, which in the case of this Kia Soul EV is actually not very fast. Started at around 40%, and we've been consistently charging at only around 44 kilowatt hours maximum. The max that this car is supposed to take, we're at the Canadian Tire right here, the maximum is supposed to be around 100 kilowatts. We haven't been able to reach it today, even though we use the winter mode, which is supposed to keep the battery warm. Anyways, so here we go. We've been charging for 17 minutes. I'm gonna go as far as 30 minutes, which is my free Audi Canada charging session. Only 13 kilowatt hours delivered so far. We're at 57 now, charging at 60. So it sped up a little bit, warmed up, I guess. We started at only 44, now doing 59 kilowatt hours. But I don't think we're gonna reach the maximum 100 kilowatts speed. That, I guess, some of it is the cold temperature. We're at about -5 in Barrie today. But anyways, yeah, so here you go. And that's what you can expect in the winter. Okay, and there we were hoping to get a higher result. The brochure that we got announced a 100 kilowatt hour speed, which may be a mistake. Apparently these cars are capable of a maximum 70. It's very common for electric cars, number one, in the winter due to cold battery, not to be able to achieve the maximum charge rate. And also depending on the state of charge, because we started at 40%, it's very possible, like with some other cars like the Taycan, for example, that the top speed is only achieved at a very, very low, same with Tesla, by the way, very low state of charge, like 10-15%. So anyways, when you're plugging in and just topping up, don't expect to get a charging speed of much more than 40 to 50 kilowatts. And by the way, the interesting thing about our charging session was that basically the car showed a different rate and the charger showed different rate. The charger showed as much as 59 kilowatts speed, and the car always stayed at around 49. So there is this discrepancy, which is kind of unusual. And one of the articles recently about one of the other EVs kind of explained these losses, the differences and discrepancies. So anyways, the car reported a max top speed of 49. So again, a very capable car. We enjoyed our time with it, even though there's no difference from last year. And we do hope that Kia Hyundai will start offering nice discounts on these cars in order to attract the buyers and sell them, get them moved and sold before the new generation of dedicated EVs arrives from that group of companies. This is, by the way, what happened with Audi and their e-trons. They were offering substantial discounts on the previous year's models when the new models arrived as well. So this is kind of summary of our impressions. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.